As a Linux user, one of the things I enjoy the most is having a variety of options in terms of software. So in today's video, I want to discuss a terminal emulator that I've recently checked out called Wezterm. Now Wezterm, like I said, it is a terminal emulator. It's written in Rust and it's actually configured in Lua. Now, me personally, I don't know any Lua. So going through some of the config, it was a little challenging. I did manage to write a couple of, a small configuration file that kind of works for me. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and let's flip to the desktop here. I'll show you guys Wezterm. I'll show you guys some of the features of Wezterm. And then I'll show you guys my configuration of Wezterm, which is a little bit different from the default configuration. All right, so we are in a VM right now, and the only reason I'm showing you guys this in a VM at first is because I want to show you guys the default configuration, and then I'll turn off the virtual machine here, and then I'll show you guys my actual config. Go ahead and full screen it. So let's pull up Wezterm. And this is Wezterm, just a terminal emulator. If you guys have used Alacritty or anything like that, it's pretty much the same thing. It can run the same commands, but it is a little bit different, and that's kind of what I like. And as you can also see up here, it has a like a toolbar, and then you can hit the plus sign to add tabs. So it does have tab support. It has all kinds of like little niche things. Let's go ahead and pull up the website here. This is the GitHub. The GitHub pretty much just points you to the website. So this is the Wezterm website, and they got really nice kind of background here, showing off the emulator and showing off some of the colors and stuff. And then we have a list of like features on the right left hand side here, and then we'll cover some of these features. But pretty much it runs on Linux, Mac OS, and Windows. So it is cross-platform. It does do multiplex terminals. So I think Tmux is another multiplex type of terminal. It supports ligatures, color emojis, fonts, fallback, and dynamic color schemes. So dynamic color schemes, what that is pretty much whenever you change the color scheme in your configuration, as soon as you write that configuration file out, it will dynamically change your color scheme. And we'll check out, when we check out my configuration of it, we'll test that out. But I thought that was a really cool feature. So yeah, it can kind of do a lot. It has searchable scrollback, and like I said, you can have multiple windows. You can split the panes. I mean, this thing, and then of course tab support. But you can do a lot with this. It's got SSH support with native tabs. You can connect to it for like an embedded Arduino type of stuff. It has Kitty graphics support. It has image protocol support. So I'll show you guys that in a second here. But let's pull up this Wezterm and let's check it out a little bit. So I do want to go over some of these features with you guys. And so we can do, if we wanted to split the pane here, we can do Control Shift Alt and then the percent sign, and you can see it splits that pane, right? And now we hit Control Shift and then arrow key, you can switch those. So I can do PWD here, and you can go between those as you like. Now I personally wouldn't really use that, but that's just me. I don't use the terminal emulator like that. It also, you can have multiple windows. So if we do the hotkey Super N, you can see we pull up a new window here. Another new window, and we can just keep on going, right? Now, what I will say, the only thing bad about this terminal emulator that I've seen so far is some of the default keybinds, they could interfere with, like if you run just a window manager. Most of us that run a window manager, we use the super key as like our modifier key, right? And a lot of the keybinds for this emulator uses the super key. So if you're going to use some of these shortcuts, you may need to rewrite a configuration file in order to use different shortcut keys, just so you don't interfere with your window manager keys. Exit out that one. And then we also got tab support, like I said. So it's a Super T. So there you go, another super button or keybind. And you can see we got these tabs at the top, right? So that's pretty cool. I do like that. Even though I don't use tabs, I've never been a tab type of guy. I just don't like using them. I use a window manager, and for myself, I can just, pull up 3 different emulators if I need to. I don't need tab support. But if you are a tab person, I know a lot of you guys are, you can actually pull up tabs. You can have 3 or 4 different tabs, however many you want. And then it says we can see some of the keybinds are kind of weird. Like these keybinds right here, like these are weird to me. It's super shift and then the brackets. I personally would use something else. And then we also have this super 1 through 9. So I'm guessing this is going to be 3 and then 2 and then 1 here. So we can do super 2, super 3. But again, if you're a window manager user, you would have done flipped workspaces because most of us use the super key as the modifier key. So I get what they're doing and I really like it. I like the emulator. I just don't like the keybinds. Another thing I don't like about this is they do not have a default configuration file. They don't have one. They show you how to write one. They pretty much show you what you have to do, but they don't have an actual default configuration file. There are some other things I want to show you before we flip over to mine. Let's look at the image support. Now, this is a feature that I haven't really played around with on my system, but as I was, preparing this video for you guys, I was looking over the features and everything, and I actually played around with this here on the VM, and this is awesome. This is pretty cool. So we can display images in our terminal. Now, I don't know if Alacritty can do that. I don't think Alacritty can do that. I could be wrong, but this is really, really neat stuff. So we can go to user share, and I think it's backgrounds, XFCE. So we have these JPEGs and PNGs. So if we do Wezterm image cat, and then we do XFCE. We can do blue. Boom. That's a full image inside of your terminal. That's pretty cool. Now, I don't know why you would use something like that, but it's there. Let's see if it can do SVG support too. Nope. Okay, that's fine. It can't do SVG, but it can do PNG. No, it can do JPEG. Let's see if it can do PNG. Let's try stripes. It wanted to render something, didn't it? Let's try another one. Vertical, maybe? There we go. Okay, so it can do PNG. It can do probably all your standard image formats. PNG, JPEG, stuff like that. But it looked like it couldn't do the SVG, which is fine. Honestly, I probably wouldn't even use this feature, but the fact that this feature is built in is pretty neat. Another cool thing about this is that it can do scroll back. So this is kind of weird. Let me find the thing here. Okay. So let's pop in NeoFetch. Okay, so we can do NeoFetch, right? Now let's say that we wanted to search for something on the screen. Well, we could do that. If we do Control-Shift-F, right? And now you see we're in this mode, this copy mode. And if we do search, we can do void Linux. And you can see it highlighted right there, right? Like just quickly highlight it. And I think there is a quick key. Yeah, we could Control-Shift-C and it will copy that selected text to the clipboard. So Control-Shift-C. Now let's see if it actually copied it. Control-Shift-B maybe. There it is. Control-Shift-B. So it actually did copy all of that stuff to the clipboard. And that's pretty cool. And you can search for anything on the screen. You can do kernel. Now it is case sensitive, so we would have to search for it right away. I wonder if it could actually search configuration files, because that would be really cool. Let's look at another feature here. So it says it has implicit and explicit hyperlinks. I don't know. There's a default rule to match URLs. Okay, so it looks like it just displays links, I'm guessing. Well, let's put a link in to see if it displays it. We'll do google.com. We not? Okay, how about this? HTTPS. All right, so you can see my little cursor switch over there, right? Can I not? Okay, I can click on it. It just takes a minute to click on it and for Firefox to realize it's a link. That's fine. But yeah, this thing is pretty cool. Now let's look at a little bit of the configuration here. If I can get the my connection to work. I just updated Void Linux here, and for some reason the name server got all screwed up. So I do apologize about the low connection here. I might have to do this on my actual system. That's kind of why I had some of this stuff automatically already pulled up. You can also see right here, though, it says the configuration, like it does do hot plugging or hot reloading, rather. So everything you write in your config, as soon as you save it, Wezterm it's super fast. So look at the config. So this is kind of the configuration. It's a little different if you don't know Lua. Like I said, I'm not a Lua programmer by any means. And they kind of go down this hierarchy of how Wezterm figures out what configuration or default config to use. What I would say is just go ahead and put a Wezterm.lua in your .config hidden directory. That's what I did, and it works. So you can see right here, home.config Wezterm.lua. That's pretty much how I did it. And then I think they even say how to do it for Wayland and stuff. So, and then for Windows stuff, blah blah blah. I will say too that their documentation is pretty good. Like it's legit good. Like you can click on any part of this and it will take you there. Like I said, the internet, I mean, my connection here kind of sucks. So let me go ahead and flip over to my actual configuration, and maybe I'll go ahead and pull up Wezterm's website here for you guys. So we can actually look at the config. So yeah, you can see, I mean, it goes into detail about configs, and they just got a lot of color schemes. Tells you how to launch specific stuff. I mean, there's a lot to this like config. They also have a full config and like a Lua reference. So if your Lua skills kind of suck like mine, then yeah, you can learn a little bit of Lua. So let me show you my Wezterm config, or my Wezterm, and then I'll show you my Wezterm actual config. That's my Wezterm. Now, you may be thinking, man, this looks exactly like Alacritty. And guess what? You would be right. In fact, on the right-hand side here, this is Alacritty. This is Wezterm. They look dead up the same. The only thing I would say is specifically on the monitor that I'm looking at right now that has these two terminals, is that this monitor doesn't show blacks real nice. And Wezterm actually looks a lot nicer on this specific monitor than Alacritty does. Alacritty is it's a lot lighter in color, which is not a bad thing. I'm just saying that it's that's just how it's displayed. Now, you can also notice we do not have a title bar at the top, right? Like I said, I don't use title bars. I really don't use tabs and all that nonsense, right? So, if we do a tab though, watch what happens. Now we have a title bar. That's pretty cool, right? So, I have it set where if it's only showing one, which is the main window, don't show the title bar. Now let's go ahead and go over my actual config, and I'll show you guys kind of what I've done. So we'll do config, and then we'll do Wezterm here. And then I have a README document, which is, yes, I made this a .org. And then I did my Wezterm Lua. In fact, let's go ahead. I'll just pull this up in NeoVim. It doesn't matter. All right. There we go. So I did pretty much what the documentation said to do, right? I did this require Wezterm, and then I got this return function called config. I'm guessing this is a function. Not sure, actually. Lua has really kind of stumped me a little bit. I'm not sure if that's a class or what it is. It looks like a class, like in another programming language, that would be a class. That's what I'm guessing it might be, but not 100% sure. But as you can see, I pretty much got my color scheme. I like Dracula. You guys know that. I got my font size 16. And then right here, I have JetBrains Mono Nerd Font, and then I have my weight, and then italic I have that set to false because we don't need italic font. But I do like my color, I do like my font bold or semi-bold. I just think it looks a lot better in the terminal here. And then this default prog, this is my shell. I switched to the fish shell. I've been playing around with it a little bit too. Just to have a variety. And then right here is really where I hid the tab bar, and I hid the mouse cursor when I type. So I don't know if you guys noticed that, but if I go over here, and here's my mouse cursor right here. So I'll keep it right here. Now watch what happens when I start typing. It goes away. I can move it. It goes away. I think that's a pretty cool feature. And then for cursor style, I just have it like a steady underline, so you can see the underline like right there. Now, before I go, I do want to show you guys this hot reloading of this of these color schemes. You can do this with anything. You can do this with font size, anything, and it's like that. I mean, it's super fast. And it's pretty nice. So if we want to change the font size to like 12, right? Boom, done. You can see that the fonts just, they changed, right? And actually 12 doesn't look too bad. 12 looks actually pretty good. I might change it to 14 here. Just a little bit bigger. But yeah, 14's not bad. What about color schemes, right? We do Dracula. Let's do, I don't know, let's try that Batman out. Boom, done. You can see the right hand side. I mean, it's, what about Nord? We got some Nord. There's Nord. I don't know what else. I like my Dracula. What about Doom? We got Doom. No Doom. No Doom 1. Everyone has Doom 1. No? Okay, let's go to the website here. I do want to check out the website. Config, color schemes. Let's look at D. They got Darkula, not Dracula, Darkula. Dark Plus, Dark Matrix. I want to. Y'all got Doom? Do we not have Doom? Doom? Got Doom Peak. Doom 1 right there. I knew we had some Doom 1. I don't personally like this color scheme, but I know quite a few people do. Oh no. Undo. Doom 1, maybe? There it is, Doom 1. That looks, I don't know, man. That looks kind of ugly, doesn't it? I don't like that. What about Darkula? Darkula. What's the difference between Darkula and Dracula? That doesn't look like no Darkula. But yeah, I mean, I know I'm getting kind of carried away here. But it is. So there's. Whoa. There's the base 16 version, and then there's the regular version. What's the base 16 version? I do want to check this out before I let you guys go. Yeah. Base 16. Okay. Let's look at the non-base 16. Like, what's the difference? Okay. That makes sense. So the base 16, right? Base 16. See how light it is? Now, if we go up here to compare our, I do apologize about that. If we go up here to compare, see, that almost looks like the same now, right? So that means, what that means to me is that on Alacritty, they're using the base 16 color scheme maybe, or that's the color scheme that, I don't know who I got this config, my Alacritty config, probably DT. So maybe DT was using the base 16 version of the Dracula color scheme. This almost looks dead up the same, other than the starship type of stuff, right? But I actually prefer the darker one. So, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I wanted to show you guys about Wezterm. It's not, it's not anything really special. Just a different terminal emulator, and yeah, I really like it. The only thing I would say is Lua, like I said, Lua is kind of weird to kind of play around with. It is teaching me some things, so I do enjoy that aspect of it, but there's not a default configuration file, and I don't know why. So if you guys don't mind writing your own config, or if you guys don't mind just kind of starting from scratch, then yeah, give us a shot, check it out, and yeah, that's all I got. All right, hit the like and subscribe button if you guys don't mind. Make sure you guys leave me a comment down below. Tell me if you guys have checked out this terminal emulator before, and if you have, tell me what you guys think of it. All right, but until next time, I want you guys to take care, be safe, and peace. Bye, guys.